Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Extinct Bricks Originals. And for this very special episode, I will be featuring one of my favorite ceratopsians of all time, the Triceratops from Jurassic Park. But before we head on with this video, I'd like to say thanks to youtube.com audio library for this awesome background music. Please also like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. To support my channel, please do not skip on all the ads on all my videos. Thanks everyone! You may also want to follow me on my social media platforms. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LYKA. It is here where I post some of my exclusive photos and videos that is not present in YouTube. The Guesses PC contest winners will be announced at the end of the video as usual, but first, here is how you can join that contest. Just click on the Extinct Bricks icon and it will lead you to the Extinct Bricks homepage. And in the homepage, just click on the community link and there you'll see all my posts. I bet this is also the first ceratopsian you've learned from when you're a kid. Well, let's move on with the making of the Triceratops. Now, this Triceratops is mainly just a revamp of the Lego Triceratops. The Lego Triceratops is really good in terms of shape and also colors, but I guess I can't move on with my customs without, making a Triceratops that is truly Extinct Bricks on its own. So here is the ended sculpt or the final sculpt for the Triceratops. You see I have a 3x3 studs on its back, and then of course several modifications to the head as well as the body and the legs. And after some extensive wet sanding, here it is, the Triceratops after it has been primed. I used a number 68 Bosnia color gray for priming. So comparing the overall shape of the Triceratops, here we have changes in the head sculpt, changes in the overall width of the body. The legs are also taller and the angle of the tail is also changed. I'm such a big fan of the Jurassic Park movie, so since Prime 1 actually really did a good job with this Triceratops they did for the anniversary for Jurassic Park, I wanted it to be based off that. Since I do love some colors on a Triceratops, I will be using blues, blacks, and some whites of course for the basic colors of this one, but definitely let's go back to that. Definitely some other colors will have to be mixed, such as these colors. So I'm excited to start on this one, so let's proceed. Now the base colors of the Triceratops is actually a mixture of all the colors I've just shown you earlier. So blues, blacks, whites, yellows, and even a little bit of brown. So mix them all up together and try experimenting them on paper before you put it on the figure, and here is how it looks like. Now just a caution for you guys who are also actually using acrylics. Acrylics will usually have a different color when it dries, so be sure to test it first on your figure before putting them all or slathering them all on the entire base. Now to change the color a little bit and create some kind of gradient towards the feet as well as those of the lower parts of the body, I mixed the same colors with a little bit of yellows and some more white. Now the bottom part of the figure as well as those of the jaw of the Triceratops will be a little bit more lighter to this one, so I added further some yellows and a little bit more white as well. Then I zoomed in on my reference and noted that there are actually stripes of the same colors of the underbelly, so I'm doing that as well. This same color will be used on the scales of the Triceratops, as you can see on the back. There are small circles or oval scales on the back of the Triceratops. Going back to the reference that I had, the primal Triceratops actually had an irregular markings on the frills. So this one I used the lighter colored blue. And as usual, I tried my best to really, make it very symmetrical from the left and the right sides. The frills of the Triceratops also has some dark elements to it. And so I mixed a little bit of black to the existing blue that I'm using and then used it on these parts. If you guys are asking where I actually patterned the shape of the head of the Triceratops, it is actually from the specimens of Triceratops horridus, which is the larger counterpart or the larger species of the Triceratops. As far as I know, there are actually two subspecies for the Triceratops. There is Triceratops horridus and Triceratops process. After I've done with the head, I moved on with the body. So the same color that I used with the darker portions of the frills are the same colors that I use for marking several, stripes from the back for the Triceratops. Adding these stripes or patterns actually made it more interesting. It gave a little bit more dimension and also some more color to the body of the Triceratops. So to give the eye a little bit more contrast, I wanted to have a darker background to it. So I mixed several more blues and blacks together and then came up with this color. For the horns of the Triceratops, I mixed a little bit of white as well as some browns, burnt sienna, and of course some yellows, and then slattered them all on the horns of the Triceratops, the beak, as well as those knobs on the frills. This is the same color that I used for the nails of the Triceratops as well. And now for the most nerve-wracking part of this painting, the eyes. I really took concentration while doing this. I didn't have to mark where I should be putting the eyes, but nonetheless, I think it turned out really well. And that's it for the making of the custom Triceratops. I hope you like it and learned something from it as well. Well, it's time for us to move on with the next portion of this video. This is Assembrix. You can do it and let's bolt in. There's actually just 6 parts to this figure. We have the head, the legs, as well as the body with the tail. Alright, so let's connect the head with the body. You can see here that I have, made some modifications to the neck as well. Alright, let's place the legs. Front legs first, the left and the right. And then the hind legs. the left and the right as well. And that finishes off the figure, the LEGO custom Triceratops. Now it's time for us to move on with a closer look of the Triceratops. And we have here on the front line, this is Usher. And Usher is really happy that we have here the Triceratops. Now, the Triceratops is actually based off from the Prime Studio Triceratops that I've shown you earlier in the making of the Triceratops. Now, it took me a long while before I started on the Triceratops because I really had a lot of Triceratops with me, and let me just show you how good the LEGO Triceratops is. So here's my firstborn Triceratops. It is actually a gift from my aunt in the US, so thank you Ninang Ami for this one. It really actually has a really good head sculpt, as you can see here. The tail is moved backwards, pointing upwards than the usual Triceratops that you see. It is also a little bit smaller compared to a minifigure, but nonetheless, these are the reasons why I wanted to make changes to it. So the eyes are actually positioned in a different way, as fossil reconstructions would suggest that the eyeballs or the eye sockets of the Triceratops would be located at the base of the horns. Alright, so the horns also are made longer to be more accurate to those of the fossil reconstructions. The tail is also directed towards the ground so that it will also be more accurate. Alright, so I'm putting out the Triceratops here that I made, and those are the differences between my Triceratops and the LEGO Triceratops. Again on the face, extended horns, eyes, a little bit changed to the beak as well. And of course, the girth of the Triceratops is increased a bit from 2x3 studs to a 3x3 studs. The legs are also made longer, and the tail directed towards more to the ground. Okay, let's set aside LEGO Triceratops and Usher, and let's take an even closer look on this Triceratops remake. So you can see here from the front, I have designed the frails in a way that is very similar to the Prime Studio one. I know it's very basic still, and it has to still look like LEGO. Of course, the markings on the back is colored in a way that is also very similar to the Prime 1 Studio Triceratops. There are also scales that is much lighter, very much similar to the colors of the underbelly. The legs are longer, and the top of the Triceratops also has a 3x3 studs on it. Among the bodily customs or changes to this Triceratops would of course be the neck, as well as the overall shape of the body. Now, as for articulation, the head can move up and down, so it can also make a charging pose and an eating on the ground pose as well. The legs are definitely movable, and I guess that's it for the Triceratops. Oh, one last thing. Aside from its head moving up and down, it can also be twisted like so. Very reminiscent of Exorcist. Well, that's it for the closer look. Let's now move on with the size comparisons of the LEGO custom Triceratops. And as always, let's have here Usher to be compared with the Triceratops in terms of size. And comparing the size, you can see here that it's almost there. The Triceratops that you see here is a large Triceratops. So at least I made this Triceratops a little bit more larger than it is usually in the LEGO Triceratops Park. Let's now compare with my other customs from the Jurassic Park movie. This is the Extinct Bricks Jurassic Park 1 Velociraptor repaint. And you can see here, although this Velociraptor is overdue in its largeness, I think when it is positioned at the back part of the panel, you can see here that it's almost that size. Well, so far, this is the actual size of this raptor. I do have some mini raptors, but I do plan several other things for them as well. Let's move on with our next comparison. This is the Extinct Rex Jurassic Park 1 Dilophosaurus. Now, this Dilophosaurus is unlike the Dilophosaurus that LYKA has created. It is a similar size with that of the novel. Probably the Dilophosaurus from the novel or from the movie will be actually this one. Well, I wanted it to be more novel accurate, so it's actually colored yellow with leopard printing on it. The frills on this Dilophosaurus are movable and detachable as well. Alright, cool now. So if you haven't seen this video on the Dilophosaurus novel Jurassic Park 1 I did before, please check out my Extinct Rex playlist. Several more interesting data such as size and some history in the Jurassic Park 1 Dilophosaurus novel will be shared in that video as well. And just to compare the size very quickly, from the top view, you can see here that the Triceratops is a bit longer than that of the Dilophosaurus, but the Dilophosaurus is a bit taller. Well, let's move on with one of my favorite hadrosaurs. This is the Extinct Rex Jurassic Park 1 Parasaurolophus. The Parasaurolophus can be seen first in the Jurassic Park movie along with the Brachiosaurus in the lake. Or was it a watering hole? I don't know. Comparing these two herbivores in terms of size, definitely the hadrosaur or the Parasaurolophus here will be taller than that of the Triceratops, but the Triceratops is around the same length as that of the Parasaurolophus. Okay, so let's move on with the next comparison. This is of course our king of Inalublar here, Rexy. So Extinct Rex Rexy here is actually made during the high time of Camp Cretaceous. The first 2 seasons of Camp Cretaceous has been so awesome and have been such an adventure for me, and now I'm even more hyped and excited for the 3rd season of it. Well, let's move on with the size comparisons. You can see here side by side the Rexy and also the Triceratops here. Definitely Rexy is taller and longer than that of the LYKA custom Triceratops. Looking from the top view, you can see here that the Triceratops is a bit wider than that of the T-Rex. In earlier dinosaur films, it is usually, seen that the Triceratops would usually battle a carnivore, which in this instance would be a Tyrannosaurus. Some would usually show the Triceratops battling an Allosaurus, but we all know from the books that Triceratops wouldn't be existing until the late Cretaceous period. So most probably, battles such as this one, the Triceratops versus the Tyrannosaurus Rex, would be a suitable, thing when creating an accurate or era-accurate movie. I would wish that in Dominion there would be a battle between the Triceratops and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. What do you guys think? Well, anyways, enough of the battles, Rexy and Trike. Let's move on with the video. And here we have all of them in the species roll call. But before that, I'd like to hear from you guys on what you think I should be doing or suggestions on the next creature or species for Extinct Rex. Also, you may view all of the rest of these creatures such as the T-Rex, Dilophosaurus, and the rest in the Extinct Rex playlist. Alright, so enough of that, let's continue on with the species roll call. First, we have here Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous, Tyrannosaurus Rex or Rexy. Jurassic Park Novel, Dilophosaurus. Jurassic Park Jurassic World Dominion, Parasaurolophus. Jurassic Park 1, Velociraptor, Repaint. And of course, the star of the show here, the Extinct Rex Triceratops Horridus Jurassic Park 1 based off from the Jurassic Park Anniversary Part 1 Studio statue. Well, it's almost end of the video, so let's have the last looks on the Triceratops custom figure. Did you know that the Triceratops actually came from the Greek words tri, keras, and ops, meaning three-horned face? The Triceratops also lived in the late Cretaceous period, around 68 to 66 million years ago, and is definitely part of the Ceratopsidae family. It can grow up to a length of 30 feet, a height of 9.8 feet, and a weight of 11,975 kilograms. Yay! GCL and of course Usher here is really glad to be helping the Triceratops move on to its new enclosure. Well, that's the end of the video. I hope you like it, guys. Now it's time for us to move on with the Guess SPC contest winners. And we have 10 lucky picks: Orion Kroom, alias Reigns, Paing Pei Nue, I'm Back Suckers Bifka, Marco Perini, Grumpy Silv Studios, Billy, Kaylish Pathman, Hilary Reeves, and Justin Norrat. Congratulations, everyone! And now for our top 10 winners.
Top 10.
Sylvian Morales,
Top
Robert,
9. Top 8.
Maximum Power,
Top
Yaroslav
7.
Novokatsky,
Top 6.
Gretchen Vermeulen,
Top 5.
Cynthia Hajar,
Top 4.
Melvin Glorious Permana,
Top 3.
Mandy Amar,
Top 2.
Fallon, and
Top
Archosaurus.
1.
Congratulations, everyone! And I'll see you on the next Guess SPC contest. Also, our babies Moira and Usher has their own vlog now, The Adventures of Moira and Usher. Please watch their videos and support their channel as well by subscribing. And as we always would say here, let your inner dino brick roar! Thanks, everyone, and bye!